In this effect, a series of random choices leads to just one single card, the spectator's randomly chosen card. This will seem impossible. This is CoachTrick. Welcome back to another CoachTrick tutorial. Today's effect is not only powerful and unforgettable, it's also surprisingly simple to master. It can be performed with any shuffle deck, doesn't contain any difficult moves or sleights, and is suitable for magicians of all skill levels. As ever, join us to the end as we explore how learning magic can inspire you to push your boundaries and achieve even greater success. Okay, let's jump into it. Grab a deck and let's go. Okay, as ever, let's kickstart by taking a look at the effect itself. Now, this is going to be a demonstration of the power of choice, and we're going to start with a shuffled deck, so you can just hand the cards to the spectator. They can shuffle those as much as they like. With that done, the first choice you're going to offer the spectator is how many times they would now like to cut the deck. And they can cut the deck wherever they like, and let's say they choose to cut it a couple more times. And this really is a totally free choice. And with that done, there can be no doubt that the cards really are mixed. You're now going to take the deck and you're going to deal 4 piles of 8 cards to the table, just like so. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So there's the first pile just there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There's the second pile. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There's the third pile, and finally 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, the fourth pile on the end, and you can just place the rest of the cards to the side. You're now going to offer the spectator their next choice, which is a choice of pile, and again it's a totally free choice. They can point to any pile they like. Let's say they point to the pile on the end just here. You're going to take this pile, and to make things even more random, you're going to divide this pile into 2 more piles and ask the spectator to choose one of these by pointing at it. Let's say they point to the pile over here. You're going to display the cards from the chosen pile, and you're going to ask the spectator to mentally note just one card. Not to tell you, but just to mentally note one. Let's say in this instance they note the 6 of hearts as their chosen card. Once they've noted a card, you can then just gather up the cards like so. You can emphasize that the spectator has just made a totally random choice. There's no way that you can know the value of the selected card or the position of that card. You're now going to take the cards and just deal another row of cards to the table, just like so. Dealing the cards one on top of the other, so that we have 4 piles. And you're just going to deal the cards like this until you've dealt all of the cards. And with that done, you can just tidy up the piles like so. You're now going to show the spectator the cards in each pile, making sure that they don't tell you what their card is or when they see it, but just to mentally note the pile their card is in. So you'll take the first pile and just display the cards like so. You'll do the same for the second pile, just showing the spectator the cards. The same for the third pile. And finally, for the fourth pile at the end. And with that done, you're now just going to ask the spectator to point to the pile in which they saw their card. Make sure they don't tell you their card, but just to point to the pile. So remember, in this instance, their card was the 6 of hearts, and it was in this pile here, so that's the pile they'll point to. You can then gather up the other piles and place these cards to the side. So we now know that this pile contains the spectator's chosen card. There's absolutely no way that we can know the value of that card or the position of that card. You're now going to take these cards and you're just going to deal 2 rows of cards to the table. Just like so. You're now going to give the spectator their next choice, which is a choice of row. And again, it's a totally free choice. The spectator can point to either row, either the top row or the bottom row, it's up to them. Let's say they point to the bottom row just down here. You can gather up the cards from the other row and place those to the side. So we're now left with just the 4 cards on the table from the chosen row. You're now going to offer the spectator their final choice, which is the sequence of the cards on the table. So you're just going to offer the spectator the chance just to mix these up any way that they like, just mixing up the order like so until they're happy that they really are mixed. At this point, you can just quickly recap exactly what's happened. From a shuffled deck, the spectator chose a totally random card, which was returned to the deck. And through a series of choices, a number of cards have now been discarded, leaving just 4 final cards on the table. And these cards have been given a final mix. You're now going to make some choices of your own. You're going to choose to remove 3 of these cards to leave us with just 1 single card. So you're just going to sense the cards like so, just using your instinct to remove, I think, this card. I think also remove this card and just 1 more. I think, no, this is tough. I think this card just here, which leaves us with 1 single card. For the first time now, you can ask the spectator to name the value of their selected card. Of course, in this instance, it was the 6 of hearts. And now you can reveal how this card right here, the last remaining card, the card of choice, is indeed the 6 of hearts. A super clever location that's also super simple to perform. So stick around because now I will show you exactly how it works. Okay, so now for the secret to this location. And you really do start with a shuffled deck, and that's what adds the impact. Now the first thing you're going to do is just ask the spectator to make some cuts to the deck. Now they can cut the deck however many times they like. This really isn't important, but it just plants the idea of choice. With that done, you're now going to take the deck and deal 4 piles of 8 cards to the table. Now you can do this however you like. You can just deal the cards straight to the table, or you can just count them off from the deck. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, like so. And just do that for 4 piles. With that done, you can place the rest of the cards aside. You no longer need those. The spectator can now choose one of these piles. Again, a totally free choice. They can point to any pile that they like. Let's say they point to this pile just here. You're going to take this pile and now you're just going to divide this into 2 piles of 4 cards. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Ask the spectator to choose one of these piles. Let's say they choose this pile here, but they really can choose any pile. Show the spectator the cards from their chosen pile and ask them to remember just one of them. And again, this is a totally free choice. So let's say they remember the 10 of spades in this instance. Now you're going to take these cards, close them up and place them under the other pack that you're holding, like so. You're now going to take one of the packs from the table and place these on top of those cards, and then place the cards you're holding on top of the other 2 packs on the table. With that done, you're now going to take these cards and just deal all of the cards into 4 more piles, like so. So just into a single row, dealing all of the cards onto the piles. You will now simply just show the spectator the cards from each pile, asking them to note the pile in which they see their card. Ask them not to let you know what their card is though, or when they see it, but just to mentally note it. So here we can see in the first pile, the 10 of spades. So the spectator will note this pile mentally. And you'll just do exactly the same for all of the other piles. With that done, ask the spectator to point to the pile containing their card. So obviously it's going to be this pile over here, and you can just gather up the other piles and place these to the side. With the final pile just here, you now just need to deal 2 rows of 4 to the table. So starting on your left, dealing the top row furthest away from you, and then the second row just beneath that. Now, here's the clever thing. The card in your bottom left-hand corner, this card right here, is going to be the spectator's selected card. So here we can see it's the 10 of spades. So as long as you followed all the previous steps, you now know the exact position of the spectator's card. It's the card in your bottom left-hand corner. You're now going to ask the spectator to pick a row, and this is where we're going to perform the magician's choice to make sure that we end up with the bottom row remaining. So ask the spectator to point to a row. If they point to the top row, say great, we'll remove those cards and just place them to the side. If they point to the bottom row, say great, we'll keep that row and you can remove the other cards from the top row. Either way, you're going to be left with the bottom row of cards, which you know contains the spectator's selected card. You can now ask the spectator to mix up the order of these cards. All you need to do is just keep an eye on the spectator's card, which you know is the card on your left. So the spectator will mix the cards up and you just need to follow this card right here. You can now simply choose to remove 3 cards, pretending to sense the cards, but obviously just making sure that you leave the spectator's card. And all that's left to do now is to reveal that the last remaining card just happens to be the spectator's selected card, in this instance, the 10 of spades. And there you have it. Remember, learning magic isn't just about tricks, it's about pushing the limits of what seems possible. Each time you learn and perform a new effect, you're building confidence, creativity, and the courage to step beyond your comfort zone. Just as this trick reveals something hidden in plain sight, embracing magic can help you unlock new potential within yourself. Thanks for joining me today. Until next time, keep pushing forwards and take care.